Hi, I'm Pamela Peterson. I'm an enrolled agent, licensed by the Department of Treasury, and principal member of Accounting Freedom, where we help you and your small business with your tax and accounting needs. I'm joined by Mike Sullivan, former IRS agent and IRS teaching instructor, who has worked over 10,000 cases resolving tax debt issues with people just like yourself who have, for better or for worse, found themselves in sticky situations with the IRS. We are here to help you find tax relief and some answers to uncommon IRS questions. So, Mike, when does the IRS levy or seize property or garnish wages?
I am, beside how do you get audited? That's the second most, that's the second question I get the most. Basically, IRS has a collection billing system. It's very simple, just like any other company. IRS has a huge computer. It's called the CADE2, CADE. And what they do is they store all their information. So there's no one person working your case. The computer is your case. And all it does is systematically and methodically send out letters. It starts out once you file your tax return. 6 weeks later, you get the CP. You get you get for the CP 14. Then you get the 6 weeks later, you get the CP 501. 6 weeks later, you get the CP 503. 6 weeks later, you get the CP 504, and that one comes out certified. And there's nothing worse. Nothing worse, people have told me, is driving or going to the post office or signing for a certified letter that IRS is sending you. It means something very important is in this letter. And when you get the CP 504, basically, the IRS is telling you, hey, you have 30 days. If not, we're taking your bank account, your wages, and/or we're going to file a federal tax lien. This is the letter everybody waits for, and this is the time people have to take their medicine. I know you get calls probably every day with people, right, in a panic. They got this CP5 with some people. I think we talked last week. The person didn't want to go get their certified mail, right? But you knew what was in that mail, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, this is not the letter to ignore. Your procrastination has to stop now. And we advise do not immediately call the IRS when you get this. You definitely need to act immediately. We suggest obviously contacting us because we are going to prepare you and your situation, basically your profile, in a way to present to the IRS to try to get you one of the best programs that's going to fit your situation.
Yeah, and one of the things I think that people have to understand is when you call IRS, that IRS is going to work within your capability to pay IRS back. That is probably the biggest misnomer. You have to understand how IRS is going to work, and then IRS is going to dictate to you how you are going to go ahead and pay them back. And what the big wake up call for people or aha moment is IRS has what's called a national standard. In other words, Pam, as you know, there has to be a fairness all across the board for everyone's case to be treated the same. So the Department of Labor has come out with standards for that people can use for food, housing and utilities, for car payments and car expenses, and say, hey, this is what we're going to give you. They use these, by the way, the same ones in bankruptcy court, but they're national standards. So IRS isn't going to allow your expenses. They're going to kick yours out and they're going to slide those in. And most of the time, well over 50% of the time, people are looking at payment agreements that they are never going to keep because they're living what IRS thinks is beyond their means, and IRS wants them to adjust their lifestyle to pay their tax back. So I think you had one yesterday. Someone had a mortgage for $3,500, but I think they were in Texas like you. IRS only allowed them what, $2,400 a
24.
month.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they had a payment to IRS of $1,100.
Yeah.
IRS, if we can't use that, we want our money. So
Yeah, so we have strategies that can help you look different to the IRS so that we could try to qualify you or make you more eligible for different programs. So that's where people like us can help versus just calling the IRS yourself. Also, if you call the IRS yourself and you're already at the CP 504 and they're ready to take your stuff, All IRS agents are humans, and they might be kind of tired of hearing your story or similar stories, or they might just be having a bad day, and you don't know how much they can bully you around, and they actually might. And if they're working with us, then they can't get away with that. So that's another reason why you don't want to be representing yourself, especially when you get to the seizure or levy stage.
Yeah, IRS, as you know, is a collection agency. It's the largest collection agency in the world. And IRS they can seize whatever they want. They can actually seize your home if you want. I mean, when I was there, I did. They don't do that nearly as much. They've kind of stopped most of those procedures. They seem to be cranking up a little, but no, they want listen, at the end of the day, they don't want to take your wages. They don't want to take your bank account. They just want you to close your case with IRS. The only way they can get their attention is when you have your paycheck gone or you have your bank account seized. It's a way for you to call IRS and say, okay, IRS, I want to do this. And I want to let everyone know, if you haven't filed your returns, you got to have Pam prepare your returns, because IRS is not
Yeah.
going to close your case out. They're
They
not.
won't, yeah, they won't do anything. You must get in compliance first. So, especially if you have a business, that's going to be more than just filing your returns, because you're either going to have to recreate expenses, or you're going to have your books cleaned up to get some accurate numbers that can be backed up before even going into trying to resolve any tax debt issues.
Right. And then Pam, even if someone calls and they don't have all their records, you can kind of reconstruct. A lot of people, most of the
Yeah.
people, if you're listening and you know IRS, the vast majority are you going to be self-employed, because if you're a W-2 wage earner, you have withholding coming out. So one of the two, as a former agent, the first two questions I would ask you if I was banging on your door, gently, of course, is, are all your tax returns filed, and are you making estimate payments? IRS wants to know, as you know, Pam, you've stopped the problem. So this way they draw a line in the sand and now just work on the back problem to resolve it. And see, we know all this. So before we make the call, we want to get the returns filed. We want you to get an estimate payment. This way, IRS knows you are willing to work with them. That's critical.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for being here with us today and all of your valuable knowledge. And thank you guys for watching. If you are facing pressure from the IRS and are seeking tax relief, please contact us today at backtaxes911.com. We can help you unburden yourself from the tax debt and get you or your business back in IRS compliance. Also, if you happen to have a question about maybe a personal situation, or maybe want to know more about a topic, please leave a comment in the comments section, and we may even address it in a video. Thank you so much for watching.